Woo. Alright, welcome to Hillbilly Nation. Woo-hoo-hoo. I like cold beer. I hate hot beer. I mean, hot beer just sucks. I'm breaking too. And watch the shell. Damn, man. Hillbilly up. Woohoo. Yeah. Welcome to Hillbilly Nation. This is American Hillbilly coming to you guys. Hillbilly up. Anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about the incident that Alec Baldwin had. He supposedly had a gun on set as a prop gun. It was given to him. They said it's cold, which meant it shouldn't have had any live rounds or anything in it. He says that he didn't touch the trigger and that the producer or camera operator, he was actually the producer on the set. But anyway, they wanted like a shooting of the film to see, okay, where the gun looks and how it's going to look and everything, from what I understand. He said he never touched the trigger and it went off. So I'm not here to accuse anybody of anything. Everybody deserves their day in court regardless. But my point of view, I want to go over some gun safety with you guys. I got a couple of revolvers here. So this is a 38 special, and it is more of a modern day revolver. You can see I have the cylinder open. There's no ammunition in it. It is completely safe. So if you was going to do a set with a modern gun, then, you know, you'd want the cylinder open or whatever. You can get your camera shot, see how it looked or whatever. That's fine. But his gun was an older gun. It was a Colt 1880s model. This is just a little trapper here, and like on this revolver here, the cylinder does not swing open, and it has a port there to put your bullets in and stuff and eject them, and that's kind of similar to the one that he was using. It had an ejection rod right here, and it had a deal that flipped open so you could put your shells in and stuff. And so even at this one though, I can look and see, you know, there's nothing in it, you know. So the problem is for one, you never point a gun at anybody. I don't care what's going on. And when somebody hands you a gun, I don't care who you are, the first thing, if it's a revolver, if it is an automatic, you should check this weapon. Somebody handed me this gun, first thing I would do, open it up and see if there's any shells in there. You know, because you're personally responsible for any shells, any bullets that come out of this gun, regardless if they're alive or dummies. I mean, you know, a dummy bullet can't come out, but I mean, you're responsible for all these. And so that's the number one deal. And you darn sure don't ever point it at anybody. And on a set like that, you know, it should have been double checked. Somebody should have been there, you know, right beside him, you know, cleared the gun. It's easy to do. Cleared the gun and say, okay, now if this has got to be, if you're wanting to see the angle and lighting on the gun, then okay, here it is. It's totally empty. But one thing about this is a double action. So you can pull the trigger, hammer goes back and it shoots. Or you can cock it and it shoots. Okay, his Colt revolver was what you call single action. So let me see here. Nope, that's a double action too. But anyway, And I am setting, there's nobody around but myself, and I've double and triple checked these two guns are empty. But anyway, that means on a single action like his, the one he was using, the hammer has to be pulled back before it can fire. If you pull on the trigger, it cannot fire. And on those old Colts, it's been known that cowboys, people that had those pistols in the late 1800s, early 1900s, what they did was they opened up the chamber and you pulled the hammer back and it clicked twice and it held open like this. Then the cylinder would turn. So you did that and you pulled it back. You loaded one bullet. You skipped one bullet. Then you loaded 4 more. Even though it was a 6-shot, you only had 5 shells. And so after you loaded your last one, the hammer was pulled back and then held onto by the thumb and released. That way there was no bullet in the cylinder. So if the gun got dropped or anything happened and something hit that hammer, it could not go off. I mean, that's been going on for hundreds of years. I mean, that's how the cowboys did it, the old westerns. Even though it's a 6-shot, they only have 5 shots in the cylinder because of that reason. Because if that hammer got hit, then and there's a bullet in there, then it could fire without even pulling the trigger. And so this gun here and my other gun, my other revolvers, I mean, my wife carries this around in her purse. And it is loaded. And not one time has this thing shot itself. I mean, let me ask you, how many times has your car started up and just drove off by itself? It's not physically possible. Same as these guns cannot shoot themselves. It's not physically possible. No way, no how. I mean, oh my goodness, guys. I mean, it can't happen. So anyway, but what can happen is if you're pulling back on the trigger and you let it go, it will fire. Yes, it will. I said trigger. I meant hammer. So if you're pulling back on this hammer and you let go, the gun will fire without pulling the trigger. So I'm assuming what's happening with Alec Baldwin, and this is just my opinion, is they had the gun here and he was jacking with the hammer on it, playing with it. And he let it go, boom. The gun fired without his finger on the trigger. I mean, folks, this is just basic 101 gun safety. I mean, it's crazy that would happen. And it's even crazier that, you know, there wasn't somebody on set. I'm not holding up for him. I'm not accusing him one bit. No, that's not what Hillbilly Nation does. We're just kind of stating the facts. Facts are facts. They ain't got feelings. So you can have a revolver go off by pulling the hammer back and letting it go. Yep, it would fire without pulling the trigger. So with that being said, folks, I mean, be safe. I mean, never, ever point a gun at nobody. Under no circumstances. And like in his deal, like I said, if it was needed to be pointed for a shot, you know, from the film, you know, say if the lighting and all that, because we film here and for YouTube and stuff, and yeah, I mean, you might want to test out some lighting or whatever, but I mean, there's nobody on this side of the camera, I'm just by myself. And so, anyway, I mean, there is safe ways to do it. But I'm just telling you, folks, we're all about gun safety, and those guns are not going to shoot themselves. There's no way that it's even physically possible for that to even happen. So, I mean, I really don't have an opinion on if he should be convicted or not. I mean, negligence. I mean, but, who knows? I mean, oh boy. So, anyway, folks, we just want to make sure that everybody is safe out there. Be a responsible gun owner. I mean, never point it at anybody. Always know if you are a person that carries one in the chamber, like on an automatic or anything, or even a revolver. So, is there one in the chamber, or are they all just in your clip? Is on your revolver, is the first shot empty, or are they all live? And whatever you decide to do, make sure it's with all your guns. So when you, your wife, or whoever, in the family that is able to use the guns and had the proper safety training and all that, when they pick up a gun, they know, okay, it's totally empty. There's nothing in the chamber. If it's automatic, it's going to have to be cocked. If it was a revolver, then it's going to have to be pulled twice for it to shoot. I mean, whatever you decide on doing, do it with all your guns so there's no question. Myself, personally, I choose empty chamber. That's just my preference. Anytime there's a gun in this house, it don't matter if it's a rifle, pistol, automatic, revolver, regardless. And even in this house, even outside or in my truck, I always know that there is not a bullet in the chamber. Whatever gun it is, it's going to have to be cocked for a bullet to be loaded into the chamber. So I know that. My wife knows that. That's just how we feel, adding that little safety precaution. Of course, they're always on safe also. So, go over with your family, with your wife, your husband, your children. And my suggestion is don't keep your children, your grandchildren, away, or how should I say this? Don't keep them in the dark about guns. I mean, my granddaughter knows that we have guns and knows where they are. They are locked up. But she also knows that if she would happen to come across a gun, how to do gun safety. Because kids get curious. I mean, it don't matter if it's a little kid or a teenager. They get curious. So instead of them finding out on their own and experimenting with that gun, explain to them. Take them to a safe range somewhere. Let them shoot the gun. Let them be around it in a safe manner with training. I mean, we all train our children and our grandchildren and stuff. Safety on everything around the house, from A to Z, And so the gun shouldn't be any different, They need to have knowledge. They need to have safety training. And, hopefully that there won't be any accidents. So, that's the main thing. We got to stay safe, people. And I know this video is not very exciting or anything, but, I just wanted to come to you guys and about this gun safety after that story about Alec Baldwin And just to reassure you guys, you know, talk it over with your family, because accidents can happen. And so we need to stop it. Well, thank you so much. I love you. Remember, God, family, and country, and the creeks don't rise, and the good Lord's willing. I'll be seeing you again.
Buddy, I got a headshot. How do you feel? Like a hillbilly.
If good Lord's willing, the creeks don't rise, we'll be seeing you again.